Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are reacting to the Deadliest amusement park rides by Papa Meat. If you don't know who Papa Meat is, well, it's
welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing?
It's a funny, morbidly obese guy, and he makes reasonably, good videos. Ranking every Saw movie. The crossbreeding. Okay, I'm just gonna ignore that. So yeah, let's just get into it.
Welcome back.
Okay.
Welcome back to
All
the
right,
Papa
there you
Meat. Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on in and sit on down. Today we're talking about amusement parks because spring's right around the corner, and it's the perfect time for amusement parks to open back up. The weather's gonna be really nice. You get to go on all your favorite rides.
Okay, July might be the best season for like amusement parks or whatever you want to call them, but the thing is, July is like the time where trips happen. When like schools take you to amusement parks, and that makes it like the queue times are like so long.
The tragic
That's like the only bad thing about going to amusement parks and during July.
about amusement parks is that death lurks around every corner, which is why I have my document. God damn it! I forgot my document. Okay, 1 second.
Why is this house so creepy? It has a grandfather clock, a warrior, like a Viking warrior helmet. It's got Chuck in the background, alright. Great, just weird paintings, I guess.
Winslow, wake up. Winslow.
What?
Come on, buddy, wake up.
That's traumatizing. That's genuinely concerning.
Winslow, buddy.
Oh, I know, what's it called? Papa Me is making more, animations. But I'm pretty sure, my friend was saying that the other day that he's retired or something. I don't know. I don't think he is. I think it was just some...
How you doing?
I think it was just some random myth. But I think it was, some other YouTuber. It was Matt Pat and, some other YouTuber.
Right,
I thought it was Papa Me.
One we do have.
Wait.
Question mark?
Wait, I clicked on the wrong video. Wait, guys.
Welcome back to the.
Okay. Alright. Okay, just leave it. Just have to watch this terrifying computer suffer.
Oh, I sent you the email, so get out of here.
All right, thanks, Winslow.
Get out of here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Jesus Christ.
Yo, look at that collection.
Oh, okay, sorry about.
It's got so many movies, or I think they're PS4 games.
I sent you the email, so get out of here.
All right, thanks, Winslow.
Look at that computer.
Okay.
I think those might be books, manga books, comic books, maybe.
Hey, I'm sorry. Jesus.
I love this guy's house.
Nice.
So nice.
Oh,
Except for the
okay.
computer.
Sorry about that. So, from 1990 to 2004, there was an average of 3.7 amusement park deaths annually. How do you get the decimal point there?
It's an average.
It's an average? Is that about little people? Little people and people that have lost limbs? This is down from 4.5 previously, and may have a lot to do with the fact that more stringent
I just cut myself before. What's it called? I was trying out this life hack I saw on TikTok. And basically it's where you get water and then you just fill it up until here, right under this bit, and you put it in the freezer, and then it turns into ice, and then you can put a drink in it. It makes it really cold. But the ice came up to here, and I had to break the ice with a knife, and I kind of cut myself, so.
Laws were put into place. Things were a lot dicey back in the day, and all of us millennial babies and on have actually had a relatively safe amusement park experience.
I didn't believe that.
So we thought. Despite these deaths occurring in the same place,
If you want to die on an amusement park, go to India.
The deaths are
They,
usually
they have like the creakiest rides there.
related to guests refusing to follow safety protocols, but even still, measures have to be put in place to prevent guests from breaking safety procedures.
They crying or laughing? I'm not sure.
We're talking about basic fencing, guardrails, time gates, belt buckles, all this kind of stuff really wasn't around totally, which I think we overlook today. It's an annoyance. It's a thing that stops us from having fun. Our monkey brains need to just calm down because we are in peril at all times. Follow the rules is what they say. Oftentimes, it's a guest health issue that causes the problem, as roller coasters are known to cause blood pressure to spike, which can injure or weaken already stressed arteries and valves, resulting in aneurysms, heart attacks, and bleeds.
Wait, you couldn't just die like that? That is crazy. So you could just die of an aneurysm while you're in the sky. But like, maybe it's like for the sensitive people.
AKA my fat
like really sensitive, like sensitive skin. I'm sorry.
ass is
I
going
feel
up
sick,
on a roller
but-
coaster. I might not be coming back down. Gross negligence on the park's behalf can account for many injuries, whether from fault in structure, design, maintenance, or
That just got yanked off the rails.
this slippery slope in these big amusement
Wait.
parks up on a roller.
Is that real
I
footage?
might not be coming back down. Gross negligence on the park's behalf can account for many injuries, whether from fault in structure,
Look,
design, maintenance, or even
that's
operator error.
yanked off.
Sometimes even nature gets in the way. It's a slippery slope in these big amusement parks meant to be fun with machines that propel you at speeds that you would have never gone before. At times there's going to be human error, but sometimes I think God looks down even and he says, no. You come back to me. And according to the National Safety Council, more than 1,400 ride-related injuries occur every year.
What do you mean by 1,400 like ride-related injuries? Is it because like a headache or like trauma after you go on a ride? Alright, if your head gets decapitated, that is more like ride-related. But if it's just like a headache after you've
And
gone
according
on
to the
it,
Global Association for Attractions Industry,
I mean, it's usually when they don't follow the instructions. Like, if there's a ride with no seatbelt, like it's one of those spinning water rides, like, while you're on a river, like, if they just stand up and jump, of course, you're gonna you might break something while you're going downhill. But, I don't think of anything else, like a ride malfunctioning, or like a person not, following the instruction. I think that's, like, only, what's it called, error that can happen.
the IAAPA, 53% of all injuries occur on family/adult rides, while roller coasters only account for 36%, while the rest are children rides. I think that a lot of these places like Disney, they're meant for children, but they're coming for children. The death is coming for those that are young. With the economy failing and parks having to refinance everything, amusement parks are cutting corners left and right to get people in without having to do all the maintenance and stuff. Yeah, they might throw a little paint on something to make it look new, but goddamn if that thing isn't holding on for dear life. And the end result is always whether or not your safety is profitable. Which one of the more recent events from the Orlando
Wait, I saw
Freefall
this stuff.
Drop Tower,
Orlando
which
Drop
is the
Tower.
world's tallest freestanding drop
Wait, what? Did I just see someone?
is profitable.
Wait, what did I just see in the
One of the
corner?
more recent events from the Orlando Freefall Drop Tower, which is the world's tallest freestanding drop tower,
What is that?
standing at 400 feet tall.
Oh, wait, that's
the
probably
14-year-old
right.
boy fell from the ride after not having his harness properly secured, and bystanders recorded the incident. The weight limit was 287 pounds, and the child was 6 foot and weighed 383 pounds. The ride operator had only been working for 3 days at the time of the incident, and the forensic analysis teams investigated the ride and found out that someone had tampered with the harness, and thus the safety sensors did not trigger a warning. I'm a big old
That's
boy.
crazy.
Going into this video, I feel personally connected to every morbidly obese child and man or woman out there, because my fat ass trying to get onto Disney rides was difficult. If you're a big old boy and you got some cake, rides aren't worth it. You should
I feel bad for Shaq O'Neal, like any tall or fat person. Like, they can't go on any ride, or like if they go on, they have like a risk, like a higher risk than a normal person of getting seriously injured or even death on a ride.
done. Eat
like
churro.
they're like less accessible to like different types of things.
Disney churro's pretty good. Or you can go through the Disney Star Wars experience where you can be really fat and no one cares because you're just walking around a little bit. Or the seats are like that of like a buffet bench, so it's perfect for me. But my fat ass trying to squeeze onto Space Mountain? Are you kidding me? For these big old, like for people that were built in the 1960s? Are you
Bro, you know when you go on like a thingy, what's it called? A fair ride, and you don't like fit and it's like too tight, like it's literally squeezing you. Like, they have to make it looser, and it's literally just open. Like, it's literally, like, you can pull it up by, like, this much. You can just pull it up. And,
kidding me? Yeah, right.
like, the ride just creaks the whole time. Actually, like, a couple days ago, I went to Portland's Park, and the last ride we went on was The Edge. And I'm not even like, the lady wasn't, like 3 months new, 1 month new. She was like brand new, like she just joined, she just got a uniform on. It was like, alright, so you press that button, that button, that button, that button, and then yep, that's about it. And then while we were on the ride, like it was creaking, like it didn't make that noise before. And while we were on it, like we saw the lady doing her makeup and watching her phone. And, like, the ride, I don't know, it felt like it was going faster or, like, higher. And it was still making that weird noise. And it went longer than it was supposed to. But, like, at the end, like, all of our seatbelts got stuck. Because she didn't know what button to press to make it go up. So we were just stuck there for another 15 minutes.
14-year-old, 6-foot monster of a man, the absolute unit. Godspeed, kid. Godspeed. Without further ado, we're gonna...
I didn't see that, on... What's it called? I'm gonna check on Twitter. Hopefully I don't get traumatized.
Squeeze onto space.
But that's genuinely sad, though.
1960s?
Because I'm pretty sure I saw the footage, but it's like... They go all the way up, and you just see this guy just falling to his death.
Man, the absolute unit. Godspeed, kid.
Like, if the ride wasn't built for you, then just don't go on
Godspeed.
it. Like, they made
Without further ado, we're gonna
make
get
it
into
looser.
some of the nation's funnest rides that killed people. So let's get into it. First off, we have Ride of Steel in Darien, New York, Six Flags. I can't remember the last time I went to a Six Flags. I'll tell you, the only thing we had in Kansas City was Worlds of Fun. Not on this list, but there is another little Kansas attraction here. That was horrible. It actually really tore the community up. But we're going to be talking about it here in a bit. Anyways, Ride of Steel in Darien, New York, Six Flags. In 2011, a 29-year-old Army veteran was violently launched out of the ride after he raised his arms to try to hold on to his loose hat. It'd be really funny if his hat said "No fat chicks." No! He was a double amputee and was riding in the front row of the roller coaster. What? What? I thought that if you didn't have legs,
Wait, what?
Raised his arms to try to hold on to his loose hat.
Wait,
Be really
wait.
funny if his hat said "No fat chicks." No! He was a double amputee and was riding in the front row.
He was he didn't have any legs, and he's going on Ride of Steel.
The roller coaster.
Or like any roller coaster at all. That is crazy. Like, where do they put the seatbelt? If it's around the, what's it called, shoulders like that, that's understandable. But that, I'm pretty sure it's like a normal seatbelt around your hip. But he didn't have any legs. That's concerning. So like, where it just flung him off.
Coaster? What? What? I thought that if you didn't have legs, you could. There's no way.
That they eventually said, we probably shouldn't have done that.
There's got to be something down there. He fell 150 feet, resulting in his death. Because of his lack of legs, it was determined later that he should not have been allowed on the ride since there wasn't anything to secure the lap belt per the safety regulations. I'm laughing and I'm smiling, but it's not because of the no legs thing. I just am a horrible person, and I'm very sorry. The ride was shut down for 2 weeks following the incident. This is not the first time. A lot of these...
That is crazy. So just some guy just got like flung off. imagine you're just having like some ice cream, and you just see some guy just falling, and you just splats all in front of you, like all the blood on your face. That's crazy.
Rides that you probably have been on in your life, someone has probably died on it. Like at some given point, maybe someone didn't fling out because they had no legs and they were shot into the air like a goddamn rock from a slingshot. I mean, people have died on a lot of rides, and they just shut it down for like a week or two, and they're like, okay, or they'll paint it and rename it or something. It's unbelievable. And the weird thing about that too is like, it's the uncanny thing of like, if you were buying a house and you knew that someone died on it, would you want to buy the house?
How cheap is it?
What kind of person are you? Next up is Disneyland. As a big, thick bitch, I have a lot of complaints about Disneyland.
Disneyland? Do you think anyone dies at Disneyland? Because you barely hear anything, like any bad news about Disneyland. Like you don't hear anything, negative on the news, like anywhere. Like maybe if you search like something very specific, like a very article, you might find like a small article. But like that's hidden,
Especially the ride that we're talking about now, the Matterhorn. I rode the Matterhorn 30 or 45 minutes before the park was getting ready to close, and that ended my night. After I went on the Matterhorn, I was done. So Disney, which is supposed to be the happiest...
Isn't that scary? Matterhorn?
Would you be surprised if, since it's been open, 26 people are...
26 people? Okay, no, that is just... Look, 1964, they opened right back 2 years after. Someone died again. That is crazy. Look, 4 deaths at Disney World next year. 2 deaths. That's
died there, which honestly I thought was going to be much more. Really, the numbers for how long they've been open, that's probably not that bad of a rate of people and the amount of people that come in, but still 26 people died in there. Come on, Mickey. Come on, let's half that up. 13. It's nice to help me 13. And in 1984, a 48-year-old woman was tossed from her bobsled car and was hit by another bobsled car on a track.
She just got decapitated, going like 78 miles an hour, and you just get flung off and get hit by another one.
Right.
48 Matterhorn at Disney, but she was run over.
Immediately,
that is
decapitated
crazy.
her. If you've ever been on the Matterhorn, I mean it.
You get flung off another ride and get ridden
it feels
over.
Like a fight to survive, anyways. And for a woman to be flung once more at this rapid speed and have her head.
Look, imagine some lady just falls off, and you get ridden over. There's no chance she lived
I wish I
after
would have
that.
died a different way. If I was going to die on the Matterhorn, I feel like I don't know which way it is. Maybe the giant Yeti animatronic falls on you, or it's like, you know what I mean?
I was gonna say, what if it like ripped you out of the seat and threw you?
Is it a real Sasquatch? Okay, I'm trying to think that it's a robot, Nick. And upon investigation, it was determined that her seatbelt was not properly fastened, whether it came loose during the ride or if the passenger willingly unbuckled it on its own. I'm pretty sure my seatbelt was not totally fastened.
I think seatbelt, the seatbelts shouldn't be opened by themselves. I think staff should have like a key or something to open the seatbelt, because while you're on a ride, you can just open it and just slip out.
I think I was so suctioned in from being so fat, nothing could have got me out of that. Remember me even trying to get out of it? Took for a long time. Next up, Action Park, New Jersey, which everybody's heard about this. There was the Johnny Knoxville movie that was made. It's one of those things, it's like from the 70s and 80s.
But imagine that stuntman.
I mean, it's a robot.
Because, that's really old times, wait.
It was determinedly fastened.
That was really old
so
times. Did you see that scene?
So fat, nothing could have got me out of that. Remember me even trying to get out of it? Took for a long time. Next up, Action Park, New Jersey, which everybody's heard about this. There was the Johnny Knoxville movie that was made.
Look.
It's one of those things.
That's an
from the 70s
actual
and 80s
person that just got flung into that building head first.
Safety regulations, and they had a lot of stuff. But we're just gonna hone in.
Wait, guys, I want to go Splashdown. All my friends are talking about it, and apparently it's really good. Splashdown. So I might go with my friends. Look, tell me that doesn't look good. Splashdown, it's a water park. I want to go to... Yo, that looks crazy. Yo, I'm going on that.
On one. In 1982, a man got caught on the Kayak Experience ride, promising a simulation of what it's like to go river rafting. At one point during the ride, his kayak tipped over, and when he got in the water to tip it back over, he stepped on a metal grate that was too close to live wiring that powered the underwater fans, causing the waves. He was electrocuted and went into cardiac arrest, dying shortly after. The park claimed the man wasn't electrocuted because he didn't suffer any burns, even though the coroner claimed underwater electrocutions really cause burns. This begs the question because so far we've just talked about people being flung.
Got electrocuted?
Right, due to no legs or no seatbelt. So let me ask you this so far. Would you have rather been electrocuted or would you have rather been flung from a deal?
Am I instantly killed from the electrocution?
I would say no, but just to make it...
I would say being flung off because you live longer. And at least you get a view. Like, after you get flung off, you just, like, falling to your death. I think that would be better. And I think you would die of, a heart attack or, being scared. Like, I think you'd die before that. Your heart just stops. Like, what if you, swallow, too much air? Like, do you die from that? I don't know. Because if you just get electrocuted, you just get electrocuted. You fall off into the water and you get electrocuted.
Fair as in the idea that you're being flung. So, you have to at least have that mental thing of, oh my god, right? And then you hit the ground. So you would think that you would at least have to kind of be ah! For, a second, and then you die. You would die about the same equal time, 4 seconds. Hey, leave a comment down below. Smash that like
After you get flung off ride, you get more time to live. So I would say flung off
button
ride.
and ring the bell. Be sure to subscribe. And also, would you rather be electrocuted from a live wire under a water ride, or would you rather be flung from a roller coaster? Let me know down below. Which one would you do?
I think to be dramatic, I'd be flung.
You kind of know what it feels like to fly for a little bit. Next up is Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure in Universal Orlando. First off, redo the fucking name. Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure? Why not just Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure? Why magical creatures? We get it. We're in Harry Potter world. And this happened in 2019, and the cause of death results from bees.
Any ride should not have more than 3 letters. 1 minimum and 4 maximum. You have hypermia or something? The fastest and tallest ride in the UK. Wait. Yeah, I think it's Hypernia or something. Hypernia. And then, Nemesis Inferno, or, the Storm Chaser. No more, they literally just said Harry Potter's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure
Over a
experience.
month from September into October, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure was plagued by a nest of honeybees. Since in Florida, honeybees are an endangered species, they could do little to remove it. Despite paying to have them removed, the bees continued to return. The ride had to be closed for several days, and despite relocating, had to be closed again.
I don't think anyone dies here.
What? Okay, well, part of my research here, which I'm going to slap the out of my computer, Winslow, because no one dies here. Winslow, nobody died! People just got stung. Well, what if somebody was allergic and they got stung? That'd probably be reported, though.
That's what I was hoping for.
You were hoping for that.
I was hoping someone went to anaphylactic shock. And lived, of course.
You're horrible. You're a horrible, horrible man. Next up, Holiday Land in Santa Claus, Indiana. What a terrible name, dude. Every month that it isn't December, you must... What a f***ing embarrassing name. What's the local team? Are they the Santa Claus? The Jolly Red Men?
The reindeers.
Are they actually the reindeers? Probably. You're probably right. In Holiday Land, we're talking about the ride The Raven, which is an enormous swaying wooden roller coaster. The Raven was designed by Custom Coasters International in 1995, and the company, as is, no longer exists as of 2002. That feels suspicious. If this thing happened in 2003 and the company went out of business in 2002, what did they do to this ride to cause this event? A year before the incident, voted #1 roller coaster in 2001, its path was designed to mimic the flight pattern of a raven, and it's themed around Edgar Allan Poe's poem, which everyone's heard that stupid ass poem, Quoth the Raven, nevermore. The first death on the ride, a guy named Tamar, was sitting in the last car on the coaster and was seen standing as the ride progressed. The Raven, as it is a wooden constructed coaster with nails sticking out of every which way.
Wooden?
And sagging boards as far.
Okay, wooden is crazy. A whole ride made of wood. What you get from a tree, I would not trust that. If it's metal or steel or something like that. Something actually strong. That is wood.
Turn. Tamar the victim, was no longer in her seat and the seatbelt had been unbuckled. This ride has no loops or extreme curves. It does, however, feature an 80-foot drop that gives the sensation of being likely to be thrown from the train. According to her fiance, something was very wrong with the ride and she panicked. Why would you panic? So your first thing to do is while the ride is going, you unbuckle your seatbelt? I'm free! At the 5th and final drop, she was thrown from her seat. Spokespersons for the park cited that the ride was functioning as intended. And the Indiana Fire Marshal declared there to be nothing wrong with the ride, mechanical or otherwise. All restraints were functioning properly. Well, I mean, come on, yeah, no shit. You like freaked out and took, I mean, listen, I have panic attacks too where I'm like, and I get up and I have to go, but I would feel like at that point, you close your eyes, you just breathe, you do like the, because I mean, how long would the ride be? A minute? I mean, 2 minutes max. 2 minutes max.
Some people panic, dude.
I thought panic too. I'm sympathetic, but at the same time, I'm just like, really, dude? Especially you've gone through 4 drops.
All you have to do while you're on a ride, like maybe you hum, like say something, but apart from that, just close your eyes and endure it. It's not that bad.
And you can't just do the last one. In 2005, the family sued the park and the manufacturer of the train of the coaster, the actual train carts. They settled for an undisclosed amount out of court. Conversations with workers and interviews with Ecotaste, the executive committee of the American Coaster Enthusiasts. Who the actually made that?
Coaster enthusiast, man.
What I'm saying is, like, it's not even a business. It's just them being like, oh, I love coasters. Love them. I love coasters. Well, they say that the lap bar had been broken for some time and was being rigged together with an old lanyard. Despite the public claim that Tamar had been standing up, the official announcement was that Tamar had done nothing to risk her life, but later on, the statement changed, accusing her of being careless. Tamar, who weighed under 100 pounds at the time, may have been too small for the bar to work effectively. A couple things after that. That's very sad. Gained some weight. Only let the fatties go on the roller coasters is what I gotta say. Who's at fault here?
I think Tamar.
You think Tamar had a panic attack? I think the Raven didn't do its job, dude. Especially it was held with a lanyard. What the f? Anyways, Voyage Coasters, June of 2003. The Voyage, a metal-structured coaster with wooden tracks, voted 2013 top wooden roller coaster.
Just make it out of normal material like that. No, not wood. Nothing made out of wood, please.
Oh. It's a wooden roller coaster. There's one in Kansas City at Worlds of Fun called the Timberwolf. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Whiplash. I mean, I think that people have gotten legitimate whiplash on that ride.
Oh yeah, she's wrong.
It's a 1.2 mile long track with 90-degree banking.
That's all made of wood.
And hard turns with over 24 seconds total of weightless fall time. It opened in 2006, developed by the Gravity Group. God, get over yourself. The fucking roller coaster company. What do you want to call it? The Gravity Group. The remaining front of the custom coasters that designed the Raven, themed after the Mayflower. As the structure began to sag and the ride became too rough for most passengers, so they got new train cars to soften the experience. This resulted in the cars being traded between coasters and cars tested, but eventually never kept. And in June of 2021, a passenger was found unconscious after the ride. Coroner declares that cause of death to be internal bleeding from tear in the thoracic artery. Dawn, who was from Ohio, was perfectly fine when she mounted the ride. Extreme drops and jarring banks of the ride were said to have caused the tear in artery and resulting to the drops to allow her to bleed internally. Holy, yeah, just like going left and right and all of a sudden you tear a literal artery in your body just from violent movements. As with the Rava event, all inspections performed and no safety violations or flaw.
You just get like, and then you just tear your heart, artery.
If they're comparing it to the Raven, where the f is Ecotaste?
They found no foul play.
They found no foul play. I think Big Coasters is keeping us out, dude. I want to talk to the guy who drinks his whiskey glass in the towers of these amusement parks, and he devises these plans to shut the families up. Next up, we have the one that, oh baby, this is in my neck of the woods. Schlitterbahn in Kansas City, Kansas. And this was on a thing called the
Sounds German.
Water Slide. Let me tell you something. This is just me talking to you because I know this one very personally. The only other water park we had in Kansas City was connected to Worlds of Fun, the amusement park I said, and it was called Oceans of Fun. This is a legitimate memory I have. You have like one of the lazy rivers of all time, and everybody likes a nice lazy river. I was swimming through there. I got a Band-Aid stuck in my mouth like this. And a legitimate Dippin' Dots cart fell into the lazy river, and they took it out and they just dried off the packaging and still sold the Dippin' Dots. I saw that with my eyes. And I remember I legitimately had to get an AIDS test because of the Band-Aid. That's not even joking, because there was blood on the Band-Aids. I didn't have AIDS. I don't have AIDS. I don't have HIV. I'm saying it like I do, and I don't have it. Schlitterbahn, when it opened up, it was supposed to be this big thing because it was new. You know, everyone's like, fuck Oceans of Fun. We're going to Schlitterbahn!
That is crazy. Wait.
Lazy River. And they took it out, and they just
what are these scenes?
The packaging and still sold the Dippin' Dots. I saw that with my eyes. And I remember...
Look.
I'm saying it like I do. Everyone's like, fuck Oceans of Fun. We're going to Schlitterbahn! But... it all came
Wait, look at these
down
scenes.
with the Verrückt water slide. And the water slide, the Verrückt,
from here,
was German for insane. It was the world's tallest water slide in 2014. The 168-foot structure meant to open in 2013.
No, wait, I saw two people going head first downwards.
Next year due to the rafts becoming airborne. Tests with sandbags resulted in flying inflatable rafts loaded with sand hitting
What if you just like hit your head on the net?
Speeds of 70 miles per hour. And I don't know if I can find footage of this, but they showed that on the news. And let me tell you, people were like, maybe Oceans of Fun isn't that bad. In the grand scheme of it all, I wouldn't mind just going hitting the wave pool at Oceans of Fun. It was horrifying. When they say it became airbound, that they were flying. Big sandbags. I remember there was even dummies at one point. Flying through the air at 70 miles an hour, okay? It was open with the addition of netting stretched over an arc of metal bands made along the areas where riders were most likely to become airborne. So this is what they decided to do. So because people at a certain point kept going airborne on the slide, they covered the entire thing in a metal mesh. So then if it's like, okay, well they'll just hit the metal and then they'll go back down the slide. That was a legitimate thing that happened. Before we get into the death here, this was never opened publicly, I don't think, because if I remember correctly, this guy, when this happened it was like they were getting ready to open, and this was all the special people in Kansas City got to come and test out the park or go there early, like investors and all that stuff. In 2016, the tragic death of a 10-year-old named Caleb, which he was the son of a Kansas legislator, shut the ride down for good. Caleb, riding at the front of the raft with 3 passengers, became airborne at one of the dangerous drops. Hitting the safety net was reported to have done great damage to his neck.
Yeah, exactly. Look, you just fall down, you hit your head there, just get flung back, your head just gets decapitated.
Revealed that the impact was so severe that he was decapitated. Once again, that became something too. And that was something fucking insane. I used to know a girl when I was in high school working.
Imagine, like, you're sitting next to someone and they just hit their head on something. Their head just flies off, and their body is just still swinging. They're just still going. Just next to him, just screaming.
And stuff, and she
said... Like, your ride's not even scary, just see his headless body just still swaying in the roller coaster.
She was one of the people, like, his head rolled down the slide, and it was, like, in the pool of bloody water, and she was, like, around the area. I don't know if she was in the water. I don't want to go out that far. This is also all speculation from almost 10 years ago, so give my memory some rest here. It was later revealed that the ride had not been adequately designed or inspected. There were no restraints other than some Velcro or no curve to the half pipe that would have prevented the ride from going airborne. At the height and speed of the ride, it was recommended that a shoulder restraint be installed. A shoulder restraint. I'm guessing that, does that mean tuck it in? Oh, you mean like go like that? I don't like that. That's a claustrophobic nightmare. It is. That's like some Hellraiser. You're stuck in a tube and there's like metal netting. Your soul, you're going to die. Oh, just like flying down this deal. Later on, due to this extreme negligence, the owner and operator of the park were separately indicted and charged with involuntary manslaughter, aggravated battery, aggravated child endangerment, and negligence and interference with law enforcement.
What?
I don't think the Kansas legislator was too happy about that, I'm gonna guess. The ride was demolished and the laws in place that allowed for theme parks to self-regulate and self-inspect was repealed and replaced with new legislator with more strict rules. During the investigation, it was eventually discovered that Caleb and his passengers were not the only ones hurt. Over 13 others over the course of the ride's lifetime were hurt and never appropriately documented. And the 2 designers of the ride were indicted on charges that they were not qualified, nor did they follow any protocols in designing and testing the ride. They also performed no basic safety inspection to any quality and attempted to hide evidence from investigators. I think to recoup some of the losses, they had like conventions or something in the parking lot. It was just weird, especially because the slide was so big and you're just like, oh, he got his head cut off on that. And now, especially, I'm finding out that 13 other people were hurt. But anyways, to keep it up, Terminal Velocity, Extreme World, Wisconsin. That's a fucking sick amusement park name. Extreme World? Oh, dude. I would been busting out my britches trying to go to Extreme World every weekend. In 2010, it was a free fall experience offering a 50-mile-per-hour, 100-foot free fall drop. Free fall.
Yo.
A 12-year-old died after a ride operator did not engage safety net before
That would be actually so
dropping a
fun.
girl. Riders are treated to a free fall experience by hoisting them 140 feet in the air via a harness. The rider is released from their cable and allowed to fall into a safety net 40 feet off.
Look, that's just it. You can just clip it, or they accidentally just click those 2 bits, and you're just
ground,
dead.
reaching speeds of 50 miles per hour. Ride operator was distracted and did not raise the safety net and stopped the ride too soon. Pulled the lever without looking, only to realize his mistake and try to lift the net. Parents were filming as she fell and hit the ground, and she was taken to the hospital. She had 10 fractures in the spine and pelvis, another in the skull, brain swelling, liver...
What? 10 fractures, brain swelling, paralyzed. What?
Girl. Riders are treated to a free net before dropping a girl.
Are they gonna show this? Wait. No, wait.
Riders
I
are
can
treated
show
to a
it.
free fall experience by hoisting them 140 feet in the air via a harness. The rider is released from their cable and allowed to fall into a safety net 40 feet off the ground, reaching speeds of 50 miles per hour. Ride operator was distracted and did not raise the safety net and stopped the ride too soon. Pulled the lever without looking, only to realize his mistake and try to lift the net. Parents were filming as she fell and hit the ground, and she was taken to the hospital. She had 10 fractures in the spine and pelvis, another in the skull, brain swelling, liver, spleen, and intestines were lacerated. Heart stopped multiple times.
Is that her? That is
Revived
crazy.
via CPR. She was near paralyzed and only able to communicate by blinking. She was hospitalized for
So
months, but
she's
survived
just
and eventually
crippled
regained the
and
ability
can
to walk.
only
No fail-safe
talk like
mechanism
with Morse code by blinking.
to prevent this injury. Ride operator was determined to be at fault for not paying attention and pled second-degree
Look, this guy. You should be
bodily
getting
injury.
life
Park
sentence.
management
That's just crazy.
circumvented
Just
police order to preserve the scene
ruined girls' life. Wait, shouldn't the parents be
for an
suing?
investigation, but did not adhere to this and were caught working on the ride to hide evidence. The ride itself was extremely rusted, and the family sued and won for $3.5 million.
Okay, 3.5 million. Okay, why 3? You could get way more. Like get like 15
This
million.
little motherfucker went through it, dude. At the same time, I would want more than 3.5 million,
Yeah.
if I'm being honest. Just, what?
Your life is ruined. You're paralyzed. You can't talk. You have like 10 fractures all around your body. Can barely do anything. Like you have brain damage. It's swelling up. That's just
Down to
like
Chris 10.
borderline
10 for that
insane.
deal. Especially 10 fractures in spine and pelvis, that just seems like it should be 10 million. $1 million for each fracture. Why not? You know that guy was definitely trying to he was flirting with some bitch or something like that. He's like, yeah, I mean, I get off at 8, Rebecca. Rebecca, are you coming over or not? I'm getting Panda Express on the way home. Are you coming? Oh, the net! And then it just happened. We have Paramount's Great America Amusement Park in Santa Clara. In 1999, Labor Day accident involving a trespasser who, avoiding all signs placed every 50 feet, jumped 2 fences in order to crawl underneath a low-passing roller coaster to retrieve his wife's beloved baseball cap. Oh my God. What was the team? What was the team? Renato, a 25...
He jumps over 2 fences, and the roller coaster just. That is crazy.
5-year-old earned a Darwin Award beneath the Top Gun roller coaster when a passenger collided with his head at speeds of 50 miles per hour. Some person just clubbed him with a fucking leg. The unique design of the
That
roller
is
coaster
crazy.
leaves patrons with their legs dangling in the air, giving them more of a weightless, suspensory feeling. The dangling leg of Jessica Medina collided with Renato's head and simultaneously decapitated him and broke her leg in 2 places. Whoa! Her leg decapitated the guy? That bitch was drinking some milk. Sure, it broke her leg in 2 places, but to decapitate a man? Holy shit, that's awesome. While waiting for park security to clear the scene, Medina was not allowed to disembark the ride. With her obviously broken, dangling leg, she was forced to wait suspended for an additional 40 minutes before park personnel came to her aid. Holy, you know her leg had to look...
That's crazy. You're going 50 miles an hour, and your leg just decapitates a guy's head. And your leg's also broken, and you have to wait in that ride seat for additional 40 minutes.
mangled too.
Also, is that a dildo in the background?
Medina, as a result, lost her job, almost lost her leg due to infection and swelling, and now bears lifelong guilt, nightmares, and massive scars down her leg as a reminder every day. She is suing both the park and Renato's state. Renato's wife of 2 months was suing the park, seeking over $1 million in damages as the signs were only in English and he may not have been able to read them. In addition, she claimed the fence paneling was loose. If there's a giant roller coaster, maybe doggone it. I think that's a universal f***ing language. I feel bad for Jessica Medina. It's not your fault, but still, how would you not feel like it's like I took a person's life, I rode this ride, and my leg was the result of this person's life. It could have been anybody else's leg, but it was hers, and now she is mutilated for something that wasn't even her fault. That is absolutely Next up, we have the Ferris wheel at the Jambalaya Festival in Louisiana.
Yeah, look, these festivals,
2023, right?
I think they should be having like the most, or no, actually amusement parks as well, because when they check your seatbelt, they just start running like they take like 0.1 second to check your seatbelt.
Riders at the Jambalaya Festival in Louisiana were left terrorized after the Ferris wheel halted. Jolted and metal creaking sounds broke the silence. These portable carnival rides that came through the area are under lax inspections, and the aging mechanism that controlled the tires that spun to control the turning of the wheel by park reports went flat, causing the wheel to spin freely. This was contradicted by patron footage as the entire structure had leaned and the ride was spinning very fast while operators desperately tried to pull people off the ride as they passed. That's not gonna work. Tried to pull people off as they pass. Hold on! Grab my hand! That's how they do it at the Jambalaya Festival. Now, goddammit, I got jalapeno and andouille sausages in my eyes. Come on, grab my hand. Some patrons jumped off the ride in a panic, and a 2-year-old was almost flung from the ride as the structure skipped the rails. There were no safety fasteners and only a bar stopping people off the side. Anytime you see one of those like state fair redneck amusement park things, I never.
Oh yeah, one time, because I've been Portland's Park this year and last year, and I'm going Portland's Park next year as well. But last year, like this year, the ride seems smaller and less scarier. But last year, I was gonna go on Magma, but I was too scared to go, and I waited out. And all my friends, like when they were on the ride, Magma got stuck on the top for 10 minutes. And my friends were just dangling there screaming, so that was an experience, so.
Go on those. Those are a recipe for disaster, I'm telling you. These things are absolutely Also, I remember one time I saw this carny at one of these things. I think he got arrested that night, but he was spitting at people when they went by, and it was so fast that you couldn't tell it was him. But he was just sitting there eating sunflower seeds, and he was like hawking loogies at people and just laughing. I remember, I think I was like 9, and I was like, I don't think I want to come back here, Mom. Next up, we have the Ghost Train in Sydney, Australia. In 1979, the Ghost Train ride caught fire at the Luna Park, Sydney, killing 7 people. The park was unprepared when the train caught fire due to low staffing and inadequate firefighting equipment, and the fire completely destroyed the train. Originally, the fire was blamed on electrical faults, but arson was also claimed. Ooh. Someone thinks it was intentional, huh? Ironically, the train cars would enter through a door called Hell's Doorway at the start of the ride. That's unfortunate. Most of the time during the ride was spent in the dark. The ride also featured dancing skeletons, an ape monster, and a dragon's head. And the ride also featured a fake fireplace, which, according to witness, is where the actual fire took place. The irony of this ride is haunting. The fire broke out at 10:15 p.m. on the ride, and 35 people were on board. Staff raised the alarm and started to pull people from the ride, and the park's fire hose had a low water pressure and could only cover part of the ride as it sprayed, so it took an hour to get the fire under control. Originally, the staff thought everyone had escaped the fire, but
Wait, what if it's raining? Like, don't the rides get like more slippery? Like, don't they have to dry it down? Or like, is there like a cover? Like, what happens when it rains,
Bodies of 7 people were soon found inside. The bodies revealed a man and his 2 children and 4 students from the Waverly College. That is horrible. The low water pressure thing is pretty insane. There must be like an immediate realization when you turn it on, you're just like, this is not what we had planned. The Euthanasia Coaster. The Euthanasia Coaster is a hypothetical roller coaster that is designed to...
Wait, what?
college. That is
Wait, what?
horrible. The low water pressure thing is pretty insane. There must be like an immediate realization when you turn it on, you're just like, this is not what we had planned. The euthanasia coaster.
That
the
is
euthanasia coaster is a hypothetical roller coaster that is designed to kill you. Yes, you heard that right.
Designed to kill you.
Coaster that was designed to be the funnest way to die. Which honestly, when he says it like that, you're like, that rules. Actually, that would be sweet. Would I rather be lethal injection? Hell no, dude. The ride plummets down a 1,640-foot near vertical drop before it enters in a series of loops that gets progressively tighter and tighter. The riders would sustain 10 G-forces for a full minute. Everybody looks like those pilots in those like training things where they're like, like their faces all sunken in. This would cause your blood rush to your arms and legs, which would starve your brain of oxygen. Shortly after falling unconscious, the brain would quickly follow into death. The designer of the ride, Juliano Urbanos, stated the goal of the concept was to take lives with elegance and euphoria. Juliano Urbanos feels like...
I'm pretty sure you'd have to like sign a paper before you do it. Wait, has anyone survived it? I would think some people survived it, like crazy people. Like maybe Stevio would be like able to do it and actually survived. He survived anesthesia for 12 seconds. So maybe he would be able to survive this, I'm not sure. Or maybe he already went on it, maybe.
And a near-death experience, except he was just like, the near-death, I want to kill you. You almost think he's like in an all-black suit, and he's like, with elegance and euphoria, ride my ride. What would he call the ride?
The Death Spiral.
Death Spiral works. There's that. I'm trying to think of something like, in Kansas City, the big roller coaster is called the Mamba.
What about the Scrambler?
Scrambler's good. I like the Scramble. The Tasmanian Devil. Because he spins.
Death. Should just call it Death.
What about that, dude? Dude, that'd be some sick merch, too. Some of those, like, 90s airbrush Tasmanian Devil things. And it's him, and it's like his eyes are all like, and there's like Tweety birds around his head. And last but not least is the Human Trebuchet in Middlemore Water Park, England. This water park had a trebuchet in the grass where customers could pay roughly...
It literally just shows it. Wait, what?
And would quickly follow into death. The designer of the ride, Juliano Urbanos, stated the goal of the concept was to take lives with elegance and euphoria. Juliano with elegance. There's that. I'm trying to think of something like the Scramble. Sick merch too. Some of those like 90s.
Wait. I just saw someone get flung off.
And it's him, and it's like his.
I'm not sure if it was on purpose. Like that's the point of the ride.
And there's like Tweety birds around his head. And last but not least is the Human Trebuchet in Middlemore Water Park, England. This water park had a trebuchet in the grass where customers could pay roughly $70 to be launched into the air and land into a safety net. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that did not happen.
I don't think it's always going to land in the safety net. So you're saying the person who makes the ride has to click a button to start it first of all, buckle them up. And then while it's swinging, they have to play a game. And then make sure they click at the right time so they fling into the net.
Accurately. Riders soared through the air at 60 miles an hour and
look, it's literally
traveled a distance of 75 feet. The safety net they were supposed to land on was rather thin and also not very wide. It was about the size of a tennis court. That feels...
Yeah, what if they just bounce off?
So small. For a human body to be flung that far? What's on the list, man? What do I expect? That's not safe. Duh. Many onlookers noted how many riders barely made it onto the net in the last second. In 2000, a middle-aged woman named Stella Young landed in the net, bounced up, and fell through the netting and broke her pelvis. The ride continued on despite this, and 2 years later, a 19-year-old Oxford student, Dino Yankoff, missed the net by a few inches and hit the edge. He broke his legs and his spine upon impact and died later in the hospital. The paramedic that attended to Yankoff said the damage done was, quote-unquote, horrific. And that Yankoff knew that his chances of survival were grim, yelling, "I am going to die!" to Picard, the paramedic. That is horrible. You know what kind of reminds me of a little bit is whenever that guy, the skiing accident, when he jumps on that ski and he hits his shins on the ski slope, which is like pretty much raw ice. And as he's sliding down, he's like, "My ankles are broken! My ankles are broken!" And the guy's like, "He has broken ankles." And he's like, "I have broken ankles! Ah! I got broken ankles! He's coming, Paul!" I bet it was not like that, but the guy actually died, so that's not funny. And we're not going to joke about that. The two men in charge of adjusting the weight...
Oh, they're just smiling before it. he hit his shins on pure ice, and he's like, my ankles are broken. He just dies right after that.
It's for the release of each trebuchet pull were on trial for manslaughter, but are eventually cleared of the charges due to lack of evidence. How is that possible? They were there for the trebuchet, and a man died. How? It's like, well, there's just not enough evidence, is there? I guess we're just gonna have to chalk this one up to an oopsie daisy, ain't we? That's fucking England, dude. That's what British people sound like. 50 people had to use the trebuchet that year, leading to Yankov's death. The catapult was put out of use during the investigation and was not used again. Which also, I just want to say, that is the most British sounding ride ever. A fucking trebuchet. A literal medieval catapult, basically. We used to throw stones at big buildings with this thing, but instead, let's just do humans. Let's just do humans. That concludes our video, and I just want to say this. If you're thinking about going into a fun amusement park this spring or summer, maybe think about the ride you're on. Look at the ride. Look at the people standing in the ride. Do you want to be one of those people? Do you want to be one of these statistics? Because now after reading this, I swear to God, I'm like thinking about never going to an amusement park again. Maybe Disney, where it's the Star Wars area, that I can get blue milk, I can get a lightsaber, or I can go to Universal Studios. And
Wait, I heard a video saying the lightsabers are like $300, which is just
Harry
absurd.
Potter wand. I will say too, don't spend your money on Universal Studios Hollywood.
Like,
It sucks.
that's more than the ticket going there.
Mario Land in there, and that was ass. It always looks cool whenever people I see people take social media pictures of it. Looks great. It's not good.
Mario.
It's not good at all. But at least you won't die there. At least we don't hope. What if Bowser came and jumped on someone's head, or what if Mario jumped on someone's head? Yeah, and just like shattered your spine. Oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. That was horrible. I'm sorry. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Alright, see you guys too. See you in the next one. Bye.